Hey guys, welcome. I'm Ryan Kearns, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the problems with treating Lyme disease. Look, Lyme disease is the furthest thing from simple. It's extremely complex in a multitude of different ways, and this clearly makes it difficult for people searching for the right diagnosis, treatment plans, or doctors when they're searching for help with healing from their Lyme disease. And Lyme spirochetes are extremely unique creatures. I remember reading one medical journal that explained the genome B. burgdorferi, they were talking about Borrelia burgdorferi, is one of the most, if not the most, complex bacterium. And this just goes to show that the Lyme spirochetes are extremely difficult to handle and very complex organisms. They have the most DNA replicons of any other bacteria. They actually have a mechanism that expresses lipoproteins on their surface. So think about a superhero that changes jackets, and when he changes jackets, he changes his superpower. He'll go from having super strength, and then he changes his jacket, he has see-through vision. Then he changes his jacket, he has, he can fly. So when the organism changes its coats to different things, it changes the things that it can do. It changes its invisibility, its power to hide from the immune system. It changes how it can go undetected and survive and thrive within our bodies. They express these different lipoproteins in order to evade and hide within our bodies from our immune system. So this obviously causes a problem when you're trying to treat Lyme disease efficiently, when the bacteria is running and hiding and evading and switching its bacteria, switching its DNA so that our immune system can't even find it, can't even see it clearly. Another unique thing about Borrelia bacteria is they don't require iron to survive like every other bacteria. Instead, they require manganese. In my opinion, this is probably an evolutionary thing, a survival technique. A lot of people have iron deficiencies in the body, but not a lot of people have manganese deficiencies. Because of the way that their metabolism is structured, we have to consider these things to be a parasitic organism. They have a minimal metabolism, which means that all nucleotides, fatty acids, amino acids, enzyme cofactors, all of that stuff needs to be stolen from their host in order for them to feed themselves. So one of the main problems with treating Lyme disease is just the complete lack of research. Lyme spirochetes tend to move very, very fast and grow very, very slowly. Some bacteria can duplicate hour over hour, just compounding and growing immensely. The Borrelia bacteria tend to take like 8 to 12 hours to do the same type of growing pattern. All these facts add up to a huge lack of research in the Lyme disease community around the Borrelia bacteria, because it's so hard to find them when they grow so slowly and they move so quickly. For instance, there is no research done on the use of herbs against the Borrelia bacteria. However, there's tons of relief stories and medical journal stories and personal stories of people healing their Lyme disease using herbs to the best of their ability. Since the Borrelia bacteria are so evasive and they move so quickly, they're very hard to create in a lab and very hard to study. This huge lack of research obviously causes a huge problem with treatment. It's so hard to treat something when you don't really know what you're dealing with. Oftentimes doctors treat Lyme disease as if it's just any other bacteria. But it turns out that Borrelia burgdorferi and its co-infections are not just any other bacteria. They are completely unique. So, finding a doctor that can properly diagnose Lyme disease is hard enough. Then when you add in the amount of strains, species, and subspecies of the different bacteria, plus the co-infections, it becomes nearly impossible to find treatment without first finding a Lyme disease specialist doctor. The second big problem with treating Lyme disease is that it's always changing. Lyme spirochetes are constantly changing their form to evade the immune system and keep from getting destroyed within the body. Not only that, but as previously mentioned, they're extremely fast organisms. Stephen Booner, the author of Healing Lyme, wrote, "Lyme spirochetes are 2 orders faster than the body's fastest white blood cells, known as neutrophils." And in human terms, imagine you were a criminal and you had the fastest motorbike on earth that no cop could ever catch. You'd be extremely good at making a living, wouldn't you? The Lyme spirochetes are the same way. They're so fast, they're so evasive, they're so good at hiding from the body that they can't get caught from the immune system very easily. They're extremely good at making a living within the body. So, white blood cells are sent to fight the disease, and when the disease is extremely fast, double the times faster than you, use evasive techniques and change their DNA in order to hide from you, it's really, really hard for the white blood cells to find and fight off the infection. And when they're changing their genetic structure and being evasive and hiding, what they're doing is really interesting. They're trying to figure out what's going to be their best chance of survival within that particular body. So they're constantly changing their makeup, changing their genomic structure, and trying to fit in with the body so that it can go unseen by the immune system. Basically, the bacteria is collecting data about the body and changing its genomic structure so that it can go unnoticed. The third huge problem with treating Lyme disease, you may have heard me say before, is that Lyme is not Lyme is not Lyme, which means your Lyme disease is different than my Lyme disease is different than your neighbor's Lyme disease. Different people have different immune responses to the bacteria. Everyone's immune response is different based on their daily habits, what they eat, how stressed they are, what their life is like around them. All these things go into how our immune system responds to this invasive bacteria. Another important point to realize is that there's a ton of different co-infections involved with Lyme disease that's not just Borrelia burgdorferi. There's Babesia, Bartonella, Ehrlichia, just to name a few. And for some reason, they're collectively lumped together into the phrase that is Lyme disease. So since everybody's body responds differently to the bacteria, and the bacteria responds differently to the immune system, so that it can evade the immune system, it's different within every single person. It's always going to be different. The co-infections can be different. The bacteria themselves can change themselves to be different depending on your immune response. The bacteria themselves can hide and evade and go unnoticed in a variety of different ways. They have a multitude of different survival techniques within the body. And all of that adds up together just to say that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to healing from Lyme disease. And anyone that tells you that there is probably has ulterior motives, such as trying to sell you something. To go a little bit deeper, there are geographical differences between all the different Lyme diseases. That is, Lyme disease in North Carolina is not the same as Lyme disease in Pennsylvania, is not the same as Lyme disease in Oregon. Okay, it's different everywhere. So to recap, in short, Lyme disease is an extremely broad category of an extremely large number of similar bacteria. The bacteria have a multitude of different forms, species, subspecies, co-infections, and changing abilities. It changes its form frequently in order to evade the immune system and hide from white blood cells. All of these factors make it extremely hard to treat Lyme disease, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to healing. However, under all this gloom and doom, I have good news. Many people have gotten great results from using a personally built nutrition system along with a personally built herbal regimen and healthy conscious living in order to live a healthy lifestyle and heal from Lyme disease. Take my story, for instance. I was in an extremely terrible position when I got hit with Lyme disease. I had a business to run, a 3-year-old daughter to spend time with, and a newborn baby on the way. I also had to take care of my pregnant wife and get normal everyday house chores done. In short, I felt like I didn't have any time to deal with this disease that came rolling into my life and affecting me in a huge way. Between all the chaos, I was forced to turn my attention back on myself and focus on healing from a heart blockage due to Lyme disease. Otherwise, I could have lost my life. Fast forward to now, and I've come full circle. I've reclaimed my life using nutrition, herbs, and healthy conscious living. Now I'm on a mission to share my story with as many people as possible. Look, I believe that everybody deserves to live the highest quality life in every area of their life. And by helping people solve their biggest problem first, their health, I believe that they can live a life of abundance. That's why I'm on a mission to help you solve your biggest problem and heal from Lyme disease through nutrition, herbs, and healthy conscious living. Make sure to check your inbox for a big announcement that I'll be making. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm Ryan Kearns, wishing you the healthiest life ever. Bye-bye.